Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Texas Tech football predictions for the 2019 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. It will be greatly appreciated if you do that. I have a subscriber goal of 200 subscribers that I'll love to hit by August 24th, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. You won't regret it. Texas Tech right now. We'll go through the pros and cons, best case and worst case scenario, three toughest and three easiest games. Then we'll go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you which games out of Texas Tech winning and losing, give you a score for each game as well, and then give you a final record prediction and conference record prediction. One other quick note before I continue: do not hold me to the game by game picks and the scores. Just hold me to the final record prediction and conference record prediction. We'll start with the pros and cons. One pro, one con. This is pretty easy. The pro, offense. We all know Texas Tech has a pretty good offense. They always seem to go ahead and put up nearly 40 points a game. So we all know that Texas Tech has a pretty good offense. The one con, the defense. Always been a problem at Texas Tech. It's going to be a problem again this year. The defense isn't going to stop anybody. So that's your one con. Best case and worst case scenario. Here's the schedule for you. By the way, the best case scenario is 8-4. I don't think Texas Tech is as good as teams like Oklahoma and Texas, but I think I think everybody else outside of those two games, which are both on the road, by the way, for Texas Tech, I think those the other 10 games I do think are winnable games, but I think they at least lose two of those other games. So best case scenario, 8-4. Worst case scenario, 3-9. Yeah, Montana State and UTEP. Outside of that, they are capable of losing every other game on their schedule. I think they at least win one other game on the schedule. Worst case scenario, 3-9. Three toughest games are Oklahoma, Texas, and Iowa State. I already spoke about Oklahoma and Texas. You get them both on the road. I don't think you're there with. I just don't think you're there with those two teams. And then Iowa State to me is the third best team in the conference, so I put them down as your third toughest game. Your three easiest games are Montana State, UTEP, and Kansas. Montana State and UTEP, I kind of already explained it about them. Montana State FCS opponent, UTEP, worst team in college football, or one of the worst teams. And then Kansas, they're the worst team in the Big 12, so I went with them. Now let's go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you which games I have Texas Tech winning and losing. First game is Montana State at home, win. FCS opponent, they'll put up a lot of points against them, 63-17, Texas Tech. Next game, UTEP at home, win. UTEP, one of the worst teams in college football, and the out of the 130 teams in the FBS. Once again, Texas Tech will be a blowout. They'll put up a lot of points on them. 62-14, Texas Tech in that one. Next game at Arizona. If you already watched the Arizona football prediction video, you already know who I have in this one. I do have Arizona beating Texas Tech. I do think Arizona is a bit better than Texas Tech. The game's in Tucson. I think that Texas Tech, I think it'll be a shootout, but I think at the end, Texas Tech will come up a bit short. 59-52 Arizona in that one. Actually not next game. Then you get your first bye week. Every team gets two bye weeks because of how the calendar aligns with the schedule. Coming off the bye week, Oklahoma on the road lost. Listen, you're nowhere near Oklahoma. Last year, I know you played them tough. I don't care. I think Oklahoma actually blows you out, and 59-20 Oklahoma in that one. And by the way, I've already done videos on all of the Big 12 teams except Kansas, which will be out later tonight. Next game, Oklahoma State at home. Oklahoma State is one of those teams that are middle of the road. Texas Tech definitely has a shot against them. It's going to be a back and forth game, a shootout. Lubbock is a tough place to play. I think that's the advantage, the home field advantage. Give me Texas Tech to win this game. Maybe a bit of an upset here, 56-51. I do think Oklahoma State is the better team here, but give me Texas Tech to win this one. I think they rebound after a two-game skid, 56-51 Texas Tech. Next game at Baylor. Baylor's one of these teams that are considered a dark horse for the Big 12 championship game. Because everybody thinks Oklahoma's on like a supreme level, and then like I think Texas is like a step above Iowa State, even though I would disagree with that statement. And then Iowa State is a step above like Oklahoma State and the TCUs of the world. And then there's Baylor. The game's in Waco. I gave it to Baylor by 2 touchdowns, 55-41. Baylor in that one. Next game, Iowa State at home. Arguably the second best team in the Big 12. I went back and forth with it. It is in Lubbock. I do think Iowa State comes up on top, though. That offense for Iowa State is just too good. The defense will make a few plays for Iowa State. 52-42, Iowa State over Texas Tech. Next game at Kansas. Kansas, as I said, worst team in the Big 12, but they are going to be coming along. They're going to be a lot better than they were last year. I still think they're the worst team in the Big 12, but I think they're going to be better. The game is in Kansas. I kind of went back and forth a little bit, but at the end, I did give it to Texas Tech by 10 points in the shootout, 55-45 Texas Tech. Then you get your second bye week. Coming off your second bye week on the road against West Virginia, a team that no one's high on at all. I've seen 2-10 predictions from West Virginia. Personally, I think West Virginia is going to win a few games in the Big 12. I think this is going to be one of them. The game is in Morgantown, 56-41, West Virginia over Texas Tech. Next game, TCU at home. TCU kind of in the same boat as Oklahoma State, uh, with a better defense. I think it goes back and forth, but at the end, I did give it to TCU. I think the defense is just going to make enough plays to beat Texas Tech. Give me TCU over Texas Tech by a field goal, 41-38 TCU. Next game, Kansas State. We just did a Kansas State football prediction video. Go check that one out. But Kansas State is a team. They're right there with Texas Tech. I think these teams are pretty much even. The game's in Lubbock. I gave it to Texas Tech. 42-37 Texas Tech. And then your final game on the road against Texas on a Friday. Loss. Listen, I don't give you all much of a chance in this one. I know last year they kept it really close. But at the end, Texas, I think, is going to be. I think Texas it might be playing for a spot in the Big 12 championship. They could be even undefeated at this point if they could pull off upsets against Oklahoma and LSU and don't slip up. I think Texas wins this game 48-30. Texas. You'll score some points, but it won't be enough. So that's the game by game picks there. If you count up all the wins and losses, I have Texas Tech just missing a bowl game like they did last year. 5-7 with a 3-6 conference record. 5-7 with a 3-6 conference record. I think you're competitive in a lot of these games, but at the end, you guys the defense is just going to cost you at Texas Tech. Let's be real. If you just play maybe below average defense, I think you make a bowl game. But your defense is just pitiful. It's worse than Oklahoma's, which is not a good thing. So I think your defense costs you this year 5-7 with a 3-6 conference record. Comment down below, tell me what you think. I always like hearing from y'all. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated if you do that. Thanks for watching, and this is McD the Beast signing off.